Hello, everyone. Sue.oneschuk here to continue the lessons of the workbook of A Course in Miracles. And today we'll be addressing lesson 47 in the workbook. And I will read the lesson. So the lesson for today is, God is the strength in which I trust. If you are trusting in your own strength, you have every reason to be apprehensive, anxious, and fearful. What can you predict or control? What is there in you that can be counted on? What would give you the ability to be aware of all the facets of any problem and to resolve them in such a way that only good can come out of it? What is there in you that gives you the recognition of the right solution and the guarantee that it will be accomplished? Of course, you can do none of these things. To believe that you can is to put your trust where trust is unwarranted, and to justify fear, anxiety, depression, anger, and sorrow. Who can put his faith in weakness and feel safe? Yet who can put his faith in strength and feel weak? God is your safety in every circumstance. His voice speaks for him in all situations and in every aspect of all situations, telling you exactly what to do to call upon his strength and his protection. There are no exceptions because God has no exceptions. And the voice which speaks for him thinks as he does. Today, we will try to reach past your own weaknesses to this source of real strength. 4 5-minute practice periods are necessary today, and longer and more frequent ones are urged. Close your eyes and begin, as usual, by repeating the idea for the day. Then spend a minute or two in searching for circumstances in your life which have invested. I'm going to read that again. Then spend a minute or two in searching for circumstances in your life which you have invested with fear, dismissing each one by telling yourself, God is the strength in which I trust. Now try to slip past all concerns related to your own sense of inadequacy. It is obvious that any situation that causes you concern is associated with feelings of inadequacy. For otherwise, you would believe that you could deal with the situation successfully. It is not by trusting yourself that you will gain confidence, but the strength of God in you is successful in all things. The recognition of your own frailty is a necessary step in the correction of your errors, but it is hardly a sufficient one in giving you the confidence which you need and to which you are entitled. You must also gain an awareness that confidence in your real strength is fully justified in every respect and in all circumstances. In the latter phase of the practice period, try to reach down into your mind to a place of real safety. You'll recognize that you have reached it if you feel a sense of deep peace, however briefly. Let go all the trivial things that churn and bubble on the surface of your mind and reach down and below them to the kingdom of heaven. There is a place in you where there is perfect peace. There is a place in you where nothing is impossible. There is a place in you where the strength of God abides. During the day, repeat the idea often. Use it as your answer to any disturbance. And remember that peace is your right because you are giving your trust to the strength of God. So again, the lesson 47 is God is the strength in which I trust. So the purpose of this lesson, as in paragraph 4, is to try to reach past your own weakness to the source of real strength, which is God. So the ego thinks that it is God, and it thinks it is to solve the problems on its own. When the lesson speaks to trusting in your own strength, it is talking about attempting to do anything by ourselves as an independent unit, separate from God and his creation. Again, we're trying to be independent, trying to, again, trust in our own strength. And it is talking about operating as an ego. As I said, the ego thinks it's God. The ego thinks it is to solve the problems on its own. The lesson is saying that this is simply impossible. You can stress over circumstances or situations in your life, or you could give it over or surrender all of this to God and rely on God's strength to move you through the situations and the circumstances. So when you give up control, you're going to receive the Holy Spirit's direction, the Holy Spirit's guidance, or the Holy Spirit's inspiration. Now, if you continue to control or attempt to do it all on your own, stressing yourself out, being anxious and fearful and doubtful and apprehensive, then you block the Holy Spirit. You block the Holy Spirit's inspirations. You block the Holy Spirit's guidance, and you block the Holy Spirit's direction. That is always available if we let go and surrender all those ego thoughts that are based in fear. Now, the things that you may have thought have no solutions, by thinking it through with this, your ego's limited intellect, with the ego thoughts, they now have solutions. With God, because with God, all things are possible. And when we give up what we know, from the ego self, we discover what it is that we don't know, and that's all through God. So in the very first line of the first paragraph says, if you again are trusting in your own strength, you have every reason to be fearful. You have every reason to be apprehensive and doubtful and anxious. I added a few words into that line in that paragraph. But so when we realize, this is what the course, this lesson is bringing us to, when we realize that we cannot live on our own, when we accept our dependence on this higher power, God becomes our strength and our safety in every situation. So that's what I want to say today about lesson 47. And I want to thank you for being here. And to also, again, just reminding you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I really would appreciate it. And the liking of it and the sharing of it. There's, again, people out there that are looking for this path. And by your sharing, you may be touching someone out there and sending that out to them. All right, with that being said, I will close for this lesson at this time, and I look forward to being with you for the next lesson, which is already lesson 48. A couple of days, we'll have completed 50 lessons already. Alrighty. You have a wonderful day, and I will be with you again tomorrow. Thank you.